Are we live? I think we're live. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Tone Vays. Coming to you live on this Cinco de Mayo. Not sure where my video is. What happened to my video? All right. Always having issues going live, but we are live. And on this episode, I will not be alone. It is also Cinco de Mayo. And in honor of Cinco de Mayo, I, of course, got my tequila. And I have my Bitcoin-inspired ice cubes. And we have the tequila. And I'm going to be pouring myself a glass. Also, check out the banner behind me. I will be doing an epic live stream for the halving. Over there in the corner, we have Joe Saz, who happens to be joining us today on this episode as well. Joe, go for it. How you been, man? I'm gonna pour myself a drink.
Oh, excellent. Yeah, pour a double, one extra from me. And I love that that little ice mold that you have there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's they're starting to melt, but it's really cool. Right there.
Yeah. I can vaguely see it. It's like the air bubbles kind of mess with it, but you can see the indent. Yeah, you can see it like that.
It like drips all over my computer again. All right, here we go. That's close enough to a double.
You've been saving the good stuff. That's the good stuff. You want to save one more sip for the halvening or what?
No. I have better stuff. This is actually not that great. It is an añejo, but I have better tequilas waiting for the halvening. So I will. I'll break out one of the nice bottles. Oh, that sounds like a good occasion, actually.
Yeah, I know. This is my first halvening. This is like I told Tara I'm busy all day Monday.
Oh yeah, no. This will be my full second halvening. And I just missed the first. So I got involved in Bitcoin, got my first Satoshi on the April bubble in 2013. But the halvening was like, I think
July.
It was
July 9th,
like November of the prior year. So I only missed the first halvening by like 5 or 6 months. So I was almost there for all of them. Came close.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have a sip of this.
Well, cheers to you.
I know you got your cigars, man. It's good enough. Okay, let me pull out your live chat, guys, and we're gonna look at the charts. It was a very interesting day today. And let me set this up. This goes there, and we're good to go. All right, let's go to screen share. And once again, check out the banner, check out the text. On the 11th, the halving will happen on the 11th. And we're going to make sure of that. Every time we do one of these episodes, we're going to refresh this halving clock. It is saying 6 days away. And we are 6 days and 1 minute away. So exactly 6 days away. Right now, it is 5 p.m. Eastern time. So if this clock is correct, and there are multiple clocks, they all should be converging as we get closer. So we are looking at approximately a 5 p.m. start. Would love to get it going a little earlier, but hey, we don't control when the halving is. Okay, let's take a look at the charts, and then I really want to take a look at what's going on with the order book. Let me where we are here. We are about 400 live viewers. We got 50 likes. Please like, please subscribe, and we will get that to you. A quick look at the S&P 500, actually. So while the daily chart in the futures market doesn't look all that interesting, the 10-minute chart in the futures looks incredibly interesting. So this morning, I was attempting to go short. I got out of that trade, break even, and wisely so. See, this is why we get out break even. If I'm going to zoom in on that, what I did this morning, I went to short the market, theoretically, with you guys on a live stream right here, right in this 7 candle. This is on a 10-minute, right in here. And then once we fell down, I lowered my stop loss to break even. We then hit my stop loss, and but then we made a slightly lower low, but it was too late. And we went up. The market reversed at a 9. Came back again, and then at the very end of the day, the market tanked. I have no idea why. I have not watched the news. No idea. But this made the daily candle in the cash market very interesting. This is known as a gravestone doji. And that is not a good sign, but anything can happen. We're in a very weird market. And I'm really looking forward to seeing this tomorrow. Quick peek at gold. And gold is still consolidating. Gold is not really interesting to me, but if tomorrow, well, this is tomorrow's candle. Sorry. Actually, no, it's not. This is today's candle, still today's candle. So if tomorrow's candle gives us a green 2 above a green 1, that could potentially be very interesting to me as a potential bullish trade in gold. I've been waiting for gold to give me a bullish sign, and it could be it tomorrow. Tomorrow could be an entry into the gold trade. Quick peek at oil. Oil is rising like crazy. Wow. Anyone that got in on oil did well. Tried getting in on oil. Didn't do it. My broker didn't let me, and then I kind of gave up. But those that got in, those that don't trade in retirement accounts and got in when I was trying to get in, you did well. You did very well. I was trying to get in right here, actually, right off this 9. Wow, if we break this high, that's going to be incredible. So that means that people are bullish for the upcoming economy. All right, we're at 500 viewers. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get Joe in this conversation a little bit, and taking a look at Bitcoin and taking a look at the trader platform. By the way, guys, the platform that Joe is about to be talking about is TRDR. It goes live when? Saturday? The 8th, right?
The 8th, yeah.
Saturday the 8th. That's when the freeloaders won't get the stuff anymore, and you guys will have to start paying for this resource.
One note,
they will
you get
launch...
2-week grace period.
Oh, yeah, a 2-week grace period. Okay, but that's when you can start paying for it, right? That's when you guys launch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can settle in for a plan, see if you like that plan, and then 2 weeks later you begin the pricing, adhering to the pricing model as of that 2-week date.
Yeah, Joe played a big role in shaping the content of the platform because they kind of Joe was helping them to show the data that he uses to trade, and from what I've seen in your group chat, you've been doing pretty well. So congrats on that. Real quick, Joe will be joining us, of course, in Bali for the financial summit the first week of November. Also, Joe has his Embly cards, and here's mine. And Joe's got his laying around there somewhere as well.
Yeah, I keep it close. It's a little heavy. It's a little heavy in the pocket, but this one was a personal gift, and I loved it so much. This one's made out of 24 karat gold.
Oh, Jesus. I don't even have one of those, man.
I know. I'm the lucky one, man. I don't know why I am, but I got a 24 karat gold one, and I'll tell you, yeah, this thing's pretty cool, pretty stable, very stable.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to upgrade, man. I'm gonna have to pay up and get the 24 karat gold one. They're about $400, by the way. The 24 karat gold plated, they're incredible. I've seen one. They're absolutely awesome. All right, Joe. Let's let me quickly take a look at the price of Bitcoin, and then we're gonna head over to you as you walk us through your short-term trading. I'm gonna look at the big picture. Feel free to interrupt me anytime. I am still looking at consolidation within this triangle. That is my focus. I think we are gonna still pull back. Bitcoin is consolidating. You'll see it on a daily chart. And I still think we're going to pull back over the next few weeks or the next few months. And then we're just going to consolidate in this triangle. I don't believe we will fall below 5K, probably even 6K. Joe will owe me a very nice steak if we do not fall and make new lows. Leah is in on that bet as well. So you, Leah, and Socrates all think we're going to swing to a new low. And so that's, I'm not sure. I think there's like, what, 3 dinners waiting, or we all have to meet together somewhere?
I feel like there might be some independent stuff going. It's going to be tough. We're not going to be together until Bali.
Yeah, we're gonna, you know what? We're gonna set a price limit. So either all of you guys are gonna split a very luxurious meal, or it's gonna be a reasonable meal for each of you.
Yeah, sounds good.
We'll keep it. We'll keep it up there. So hey, so this week's candle is looking fairly bullish. Hopefully it'll stay this way as a 5 candle without shooting all the way up, because the smaller the 5 candle, the easier it is to make a 9. And I wouldn't mind seeing a 9 before the eventual pullback here. And the halving is almost here. So we can certainly have one more mini pump into the halving and then a pullback. Here's the daily chart. Today's candle has 3 more hours to go, and we will absolutely see how that ends. Right now, it's straight up consolidation. I personally would not trade consolidation. This is as crazy of consolidation as I've seen in Bitcoin. We had one of these. We had consolidation here on a 4-hour chart between after the big rise on April 23rd, and we consolidated, but we were consolidating with an upward bias. Actually, as I zoom back out, Bitcoin has been consolidating for a while, then pop, consolidating, then pop, and now this is one more consolidation, and I can certainly see one more pop to the upside before the eventual pullback. Notice how a lot of these other metrics are also now consolidating more than most. One last thing I want to look at is the BitMax funding rate to see if it's favoring bulls or bears, and it's flip-flopping back and forth as well.
Yeah,
At the moment, the BitMax funding rate has finally started favoring the bears. It is above 0. It is favoring the bears. We went favoring the bulls yesterday, back to favoring the bears today. Okay, that's pretty much it for me, Joe. Just a quick glance at the BitMax funding rate. I'm not buying into Bitcoin right now. I am still waiting. Bitcoin is pretty high on the GBTC. The premium is also high at 15. But I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait for my pullback, and hopefully I can buy it back at a significantly lower level. All right, let me stop the screen share. I want to know what's going on during this consolidation. I want to take a look at the order book myself. So now it's time for Joe's screen share.
Yeah, and we can discuss. I have it on the 15-minute chart right now. I have both the aggregated book up as well as the signals individually. So remember how I can, I could pay attention to one exchange, or I could pay attention to multiple exchange aggregated books. So you can see the signals of late have been pretty nasty. Short, long, short. I took a long this morning, and of course this is the 15-minute chart, so you're not catching as many signals. But even on the 1 minute, I caught a nice scalp this morning. That was a nice little pop to the upside. So traders been working great, and this is one of the things that I wanted to bring up was what happened to that 9 sell, because we were talking about it, I think, around that day. And the same thing has happened pretty much both times. We've fallen down and we found support at the same exact area. In this range, we have some very serious buyers. So I think that's what we were paying attention to. We created a hollow, we broke down, and then we found support again. So I think this means that this top is either like a really delayed top, or we're in for a little bit more ranging with a possible upside breakout to that macro trend line, which I think everyone's kind of paying attention to, right? This macro trend line that's goes all the way back on the 20K top kind of thing.
Yeah, my trend line is a little bit lower actually, because I use I try see I would lower that trend line if I were you, Joe, because as long as the trend line doesn't cross the bodies, it's a legit trend line. So right there, you can touch the latest wick if you want. If you raise that up a little bit, yep, right there, perfect. I think that's a much cleaner trend line. You're crossing a couple of wicks, but it's still a legit trend line.
Yeah. Yeah, this is pretty much the biggest thing that scares me. And now what happened, more importantly than anything else, which is pretty much our trend bias band redeveloping into a support band. Now you can see that this 5 to 10% range, and a lot of people might not understand this. So let me zoom in for a second. In the
first, can you go through it one more time? We're getting a lot of views. I know you were on my show the other day. Yeah. But just to refresh people's memory, what this is, guys, this is a trader platform. I know the price chart looks like the trading view chart. They are probably using their libraries, but this is specific to giving you visual info on the order book, which has become Joe's specialty. Joe trades on very low level time frames. you're trading 5 to 15-minute candles, I believe.
Yeah.
But you do pay attention to the bigger picture of the daily and the weekly, especially when it comes to sequential. And
Yeah.
Joe and I had a chat recently about how to potentially get sequential into Trader, and we may be able to work something out for the pro and premium accounts, may be able to have access to the Tone Vays TI indicator right in their platform.
Yeah. So I want to show you why this is so important to me too. Here was that little like pump and dump. I think this ended in a 9. So let me pull up my 5-minute. And let's say I'm watching the 5-minute. We got the pump to a 9. We got the dump to a 9 buy. And this was when I made the trade, Tone. On
This is
this
on a
9 buy.
this is a 5-minute chart, guys.
Yeah,
And
5-minute
this
chart.
happened when? Well, what's the day? This is today.
This is
This
earlier.
morning.
Yeah, this is the trade that I took this morning, Tone. This thing hit a 9 buy, and I'm gonna break this down to the minute because I'll tell you exactly to the minute when I
Oh
bought.
yeah, I can totally see why you really want sequential right in here, because then you don't have to flip between TradingView and this.
Yeah, look at how great those overlapped in this particular case. Because I knew the signals were coming. We were in an area that had previous support, so I was watching on the 1-minute chart to catch the support signal, and that was right at 10:33 that I got it. I bought literally the bottom section of this wick. Now I'm not even talking the candle, and so I went long here, and that corresponds at 10:33. And at 10:33, between 10:33 and 10:35, we had the 9 buy on the 5-minute. So we had the clear to the minute, the second that the 9 signal became an active indicator that you can use with this, and that was so great to me. So you can see this is exactly why I wanted.
When did you get out, or are you still in this trade?
No, I got out. Let me look at my exact numbers, and I'll tell you the figures.
But you go in with heavy leverage. We're talking like 20x, right?
No, not in this case. I personally only did 5x. To be 100% honest, I was ready for a second bounce to add leverage to my trade, and I didn't get the second confirmation signal. This was a little closer to me. This was kind of saying maybe let's wait for a yellow signal, and the yellow signals are the extreme ratio situations. So basically, what I wanted to make sure is that if I was to buy in this, that I had some room to add more leverage down here. And you can see that we didn't get that. So all I did was I kept my leverage, saw that we weren't really looking to bust out of any range in particular. So I closed out, entering the market at 88.38, closing out at 88.85. So around a $50 move to the upside with leverage. And, I'll take that any day of the week. That's going to be.
Oh man. So this is, wow. I'm going to have to be really proficient at this myself, because this is like perfect for our 6-hour trading competition in Bali. It basically favors the 5-minute candle trader.
Yeah, I mean, you can drop you can desensitize the signals to get more signals. You can use other things like TD sequential. I do like TD sequential on the 5 and 15-minute. I obviously respect it more on the 15-minute, and there were still some examples where this played out perfectly alongside Trader. It might have been later back, but yeah, pretty much that was a prime example. This was a 9 buy, and just imagine having this on one screen, and watching this. You see the signal. Even if I was watching the 5-minute, I saw the signal flash multiple times.
So let's go back to the 5-minute chart. I want to see what the order book looked like at that time. This is 10:33 a.m., right?
So let's look at let's pull up the full book. So that's in this candle that I went long.
Right. So the order book didn't really stack in your favor. So it stacked enough in your favor, and you trusted the 9 that the two combined was good enough.
Yeah, keep in mind that I saw this flash up. The only reason why I know that there's a symbol here on the 1-minute is because as I was watching this, I saw the symbol, this band lighting up a couple times, and it like lit up, and that, imagine a 9 that's kind of passing below, the previous 4th candle, then passing back above it and kind of doing that dance. So that's what was happening. My signal was flickering, and I was like, I'll throw in some conservative leverage here. and then I'll add more in the event that I need to add more. But I have a feeling we're not going to be testing this support range too much, especially since we see the maturity of the trend bias band. And yeah, to make that distinction, this distance, this is all these bands is a distance from the price, and that distance from the price, as you can see right now, for example, means that we're pushing up into a stellar dominant side of the book.
Did I lose you, Joe?
Oh, can you hear me still? Tone, can you hear me? I believe I'm still giving audio. Is anyone able to confirm this in YouTube?
I hear you now. I lost
Oh, you
internet
hear me
for a
now?
second. Yep, we're
Oh,
good.
weird. Okay, yeah, okay. I was working. So basically the point is that these bands are different ranges from price, and what these bands represent is the brighter they get, that means the more resistance you have or the more support you have. So in one direction or another, say the price moves up to a point where these massive sell walls start becoming more and more imposing, these sell walls become more and more imposing, and buy side liquidity is weak to the point that there probably isn't enough activity to break through that. That's where you make the trade. So these bands focus on 1 to 2.5 distance from price. The second band is 2.5 to 5%. So in this particular case, sellers owned the 1 to 2.5% band in yellow. The red was owned by the bears as well. That's the 2.5 to 5% band. And we even had glimmers of a 5 to 10% band control.
Did you short anywhere in that zone?
This was, did I short this one? This was
It's 1 in
early.
the
Yeah,
morning your
I don't
time.
think,
That's middle of the night.
yeah, this one wasn't one that I shorted. And there's actually a long that I missed right here. Was it this one? I was taking care of my son till 9 a.m. So that's why I was so eager to catch that next signal whenever I caught
Yeah,
it.
so you would have missed those. Yeah, if you take care of your son until 9 a.m., those were 6 to 7 a.m.
Yeah, it was this one that I caught right here. Remember, this was the flickering signal right here. I saw, if you just draw a horizontal line here,
Yeah,
and
it
I
looks
saw the
great.
flickering. Yeah, it was flickering on and off. I was like, I'm taking this with 5x, and then if I need to add more to drop my average entry and regain some certainty over my position, then I'll certainly do that. But I just wanted to make sure I got a trade in while I had a signal, which I did. Got out in profit, and I'll take that. Yeah, I didn't exit at
Well,
89.79.
let's take a look at the current situation. It
Mhm.
looks like it's not very bullish right now. There's not much in the bullish side of the order book. There's not that much on the bearish side either. But it looks like the bears in the order book are a little bit heavier than the bulls.
Yeah, they're definitely more heavily stacked. And this is what you get from a lot of these dry runs with very low volume. You just get liquidity pockets where if you see probably the largest order is right here around 43 Bitcoin. That's at 89.20. And that's basically within this candle. Okay, 89.32. So that's within the past hour or less. So this order could easily pull the second that they're in fear of getting filled. So none of these orders are really strong orders that you want to consider a foundation to build support that's going to mean your long is going to become more profitable. So what happens is you get these pushes. We might even clear out this 9,000 wall with some FOMO. We might dance around this area, but we have a 184 sell wall, 99, 381. And once you start pushing up into this range, these are going to light the heck up again. We're going to have a massive liquidity sweep right back to the downside. And I think this might be a rinse repeat because it certainly has been for a little while now. I mean, since since earlier today.
So right now you're kind of looking for a good opportunity to short.
Yep, I'm certainly the next signal I do believe is going to be a short. I'm hoping we can get there, and we're about $100 away or $50 away from it. I think lighting up, especially you can just see that this is the 2.5% distance in the order book itself. So you can just look at these walls and see this is 2.5, this is 1%, and you can basically see that two of the biggest sell walls are right up in here. So if we push a bit further, that's also going to push some of these buy walls back, like this one at 8,800. So that's going to mean these bands are going to light up and bulls are probably overextended, which they already appear to be since we're creating that pocket. And I think this is going to be a great short here coming up. I'm hoping to catch it live.
Well, if we pop right now to say 9,100, that might be the shorting opportunity you're looking for.
It's exactly going to be the shorting opportunity. I mean, just drawing this book out a bit further, and which is also visible here on the order book top levels, which are these horizontal red lines. And the same way with these horizontal green lines, these are showing you the largest areas of support in the book at 5%, 10% distance from price. So right now the sellers are stacked at 9,100, 9,200, and it looks like every $100 aggregation, and then it starts to tighten up closer to 95. And I know about 95 because that was the trade of the that was one of the biggest trades that you could have had. Not only did you have a signal, but you could have seen how thick this wall was. This was a very thick wall, and you got a signal. This is your highest reward, lowest risk trade right here, with the stop loss on the other side of this wall and a massive signal. This is going to be this is what you aim for, in order book analysis. So moving right back to where we are, we're going to enter this space and we're going to start lighting up. And if we can do that here pretty soon, I'm going to be very excited. We're pushing up against 9,000 flat with some momentum, a little bit more than just dust running across the board around a 4 Bitcoin, 3 Bitcoin buy there. Let's take a look at orders above 100K. There's been 220 plus Bitcoin sells, a 36 buy. And that's all within the past since 5. So I mean, it doesn't really look like a hot market right now. This run seems a little dry. If I was to take a short by hand here, I don't think I'd feel too bad about it.
All right, hey Joe, we got a couple of questions in the audience. Some people are saying that some of these indicators are a bit confusing. You are working on tutorials, correct? And there will be published videos freely available?
There's actually one tutorial that's already been done. I did like a full workover of how to set up the entire sheet, how to use the widgets, because there's all kinds of functions when you first log into this thing. Everything's going to look different. So, I go into the I go into the widgets. I tell you what I have, how to size everything up, make it fit to your screen, and make it look like mine if that's how you want. And yeah, everything is done in a YouTube video that I posted, and I can actually grab the link and post that in the comments right now. It's very comprehensive. And yes, we are also working on much more short individual indicator based videos.
Yeah, throw the link in the comments. Also DM it to me and I'll add the link to the video description. And then we also have a comment for people, like, how can they get in touch with you?
So just at me on Telegram at Joe_Saz is probably the best way, or email me joe@joesaz.com is going to be the other best way to get a hold of me.
All right, cool. All right, there you guys have it. All right, yeah, so a lot of people are happy that we're doing like this micro look, like Bitcoin on 5-minute charts, because tomorrow you guys are going to get the opposite. Just like you see Joe Saz in the picture right there. Let me, how do I?
Oh, let me stop my screen share.
Where is, there it is, right. So you guys can see it right there behind me. Joe Saz is right there for a peek at the 5-minute look. Tomorrow we're doing the exact opposite. Tomorrow night, Willy Woo will finally come back to the show, and we're going to take more of a macro picture on on-chain volume and other macro price views on Bitcoin with Willy Woo coming on the show tomorrow. And don't forget, the big Halvening show will take place all day, the day of the Halvening. We will start a few hours before the event. We will be with you guys through the event. I'll see how long I can keep the show running, and we go from there. All right, let's get, I'll keep an eye on the audience questions. Let me get back into my screen share. Then we'll probably go back to yours. I don't really have much else to add. So we already went through the charts. We have 1,000 live viewers again. Guys, please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. On a mission to get to 100,000 YouTube subscribers. Please share with your friends. Here is my look at the 4-hour chart, and I only use sequential. We will see. I gotta somehow work with some developers to get sequential over into Trader. And on a 4-hour chart, we're on a 4 of 9. It's looking good. Oscillators are looking good. Even MACD is now bullish. CMF's bullish. Everything's favoring the bulls right now. Short term favoring the bulls, but we are in consolidation. And if this 4-hour gets to another 9, I think we're gonna pull back. I think this halving hype is certainly helping Bitcoin. By the way, Joe, did you see my episode the other day where I went to Google Trends and I looked up buy Bitcoin and it's starting to tick up? I also
didn't see that.
Oh, I also looked up tone Vays, and that's starting to tick up on Google Trends.
Awesome.
So if I overlay the two of them, they mimic the price of Bitcoin pretty damn well.
That's awesome.
So it was really, really fun looking at that the other day. Let's go to the 1 hour chart. Oh, this is the 1 hour chart. I'm sorry, it's not the 4 hour chart. It's the 1 hour chart. We're on a 4 of 9. Here's the 4 hour chart. The 4 hour chart is just starting its move. This is, I can draw a symmetric triangle here. And it's not that bad of one, to be honest. It's pretty clean.
Someone throws in €2 to say Willy Woo go bald live to join.
And I mean, this is a decent symmetric triangle right here. And let's see, this is the kind of shape that I think will break out. I still think it's possible for us to have one more well, not a moonshot, but one more push to the upside along with the halving. You come right before the halving, you come right after the halving. But I still think that when the stock market turns, and it looks like the stock market is turning once again, though this 9 will probably hold it up. We'll see. I'm still a little skeptical on the big breakout in Bitcoin, but I am bullish. That's why I'm going to be wearing the buy the dip shirt as often as I can, without making it look like I only have one shirt, because this is not the time to sell your Bitcoin. This is the time to accumulate your Bitcoin. I mean, there's always a good time to accumulate your Bitcoin, but the bull market started back when we touched 3,800, and it should only go up on average from here on a yearly basis. All right, once again, guys, if you want to support, please use the affiliate page. We're going to go back to Joe and open up Trader as I keep an eye on the live chat and see if there's any good questions. This is Trader. This is Embly. I'll show my Embly card when I get off screen share. There's also exchanges. Some of them are US compliant. Some of them are not. And Joe, of course, will be joining us in Bali, Indonesia, for the Financial Summit, November 1st to 7th. And Understanding Bitcoin is taking place in Malta, first week of October. All right, I'm going to cut the screen share. Here's your happening. Let me refresh this one more time so we can see 5 days on the screen. And that was about 20 minutes, and we lost a minute because this is constantly adjusting based on the clock. So exactly 6 days from now is 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. Okay, I'll show my Embly card. Love these things. Absolutely awesome. I always do it upside down. I don't know why. Right there. There you are. Really cool. Nice and metal. Joe's is even nicer. I'm going to have to get one of those. All right, Joe. I'm going to take a look at some questions. And people keep asking me, do you have an IB agreement? I don't know what that means.
I'm assuming interactive brokers?
No, I know that part. I don't know what an interactive brokers agreement is. I trade in interactive brokers. I cannot post an affiliate link to interactive brokers because they don't give me a link. I have to input your name, your email, and your domicile, like your residency or the country from which you will be trading. I have to input that into interactive brokers, and then they send you an affiliate that has never actually paid me. So I don't know if it's worth the effort. The way the interactive brokers affiliate works, if you trade a lot on there and you pay them a shit ton of commission, they send me like $200. And like dozens of people have hit me up. I've sent them the affiliate link, and I've never once gotten any payment from interactive brokers. So clearly they require a lot of commissions. So just go ahead and sign up. It's really not worth the bother of me sending out an affiliate link. What is special about the Embly card? The question is from Altcoin Daily. There is nothing. There's two things special about the Embly card. There are dozens of Bitcoin debit cards out there. You prepay with Bitcoin and you spend it all around the world. There's a lot of them out there. Any day now, you're going to be able to hold on to your Bitcoin in Bitcoin, and it converts on the swipe. Right now, it converts on the send. That's not what's special. There's two things that are special about it. The most important thing that is special about it is that unlike all of their competitors, there's no scam coin along with the Embly card. And that's what's important to me. It's not like a crypto.com. It's not like Monaco. It's not like 10x. All of those are scams. They're scams because they have a scammy utility token. That's why I would never even read an email from those guys. That's the number one thing that's special about the Embly card. There's no scam coin assigned, and that's the kind of company I want to support. The other thing that's special about it is they're freaking awesome. You can customize them. They're straight up metal. Listen, they're straight up metal, and you can have cool designs. We're gonna have a bunch of Tone Vays inspired designs on their website. You can custom make your own design. It'll cost you a little bit extra, and they're just really cool looking. So if you ever want to start a conversation with someone in sales, you just hand them this card and have them swipe it. Cool stuff. That's what's special about it. Other than that, it's a Bitcoin debit card.
Yeah, and I'll just add that they also they don't use Chainalysis. It's not like you know, that knife in the back of a company, Coinbase, that uses Neutrino, the hacking team, and Chainalysis to monitor everything. So I also think that Embly is kind of staying true to the cypherpunk ideals. Encrypting your data, you do have to adhere to a KYC process, but your information belongs to that company, encrypted, and there's no blockchain analytics going on, no requirement by law. So I think it's also a great, you know, it still holds true to the whole Bitcoin idea.
Yeah, they're also out of Singapore, and look, you can complain about Singapore's draconian laws and how they can execute you if you smoke marijuana. But on the flip side, they have some of the most libertarian money laws there is. So look, you pick your poisons. They're out of Singapore. Singapore is pretty damn capitalistic when it comes to money. They may not be, you know, high up there as far as social norms or the latest social norms or like your human rights, but they're pretty damn, they're way above the United States and many other countries as far as your financial freedom is concerned. So, and that's where they're based, out of Singapore.
Yeah, so that's why they're able to maintain some of those, you know, encrypted data and refuse the Chainalysis requirements that a USA company of this similar stature would probably enforce in all likelihood. So I also firmly believe in Embly, and I think it's a great service.
Yeah, guys, if you're asking for links, all the links are on the Tone Vays affiliate page, guys. Here's the Embly one. Here's Trader, which we're about to get back to, and here are some exchanges and other stuff. So everything is on Tone Vays/affiliates right there. All right, well, enough promotions, man. We got a really serious question for you, Joe. As a fellow, as a fellow cigar freak, what's your favorite cigar, Joe?
Partagas Serie P #2.
Say
Cuban.
again.
A real
Say again.
a Cuban Partagas Serie P #2. That is my favorite cigar right now.
Oh boy.
The
All right, what's
only,
more about
only
what
Cuban.
about second? What about second and third?
I'll probably put a Drew Estate Liga #9, Privada Liga #9 in there, and let's think. That's such a great cigar, and I'm smoking a La Roma de Cuba Mi Amor. This is a pretty damn good cigar. There's just too many to name, but yeah, my favorite. Oh, you know what? I'll give my second favorite to my father, Flor de las Antillas. I also think that's a fantastic cigar.
All right, let me see if there's any other questions.
There was some talk about how to spout a spoofer, which I felt like I that's something that I wanted to.
Yeah, we deal with that every single time we talk about the platform.
Yeah, but with the book map we have, well, with the, do you want me to just share screen real quick, just to show the added effect that we have to, in order to not only spot them, to see how they've been progressing in time. You can see this order book top level. You can see when orders have been pulled, when they've been small, and when they've gotten bigger. You can see this. You can see when they've been filled. You can see if they got thick right before they got filled. This is a very thin one that appears to have been filled. Yep. Maybe just missed actually, and then not filled. This might have pulled. So yeah, you could see that if you zoom in here, this wall actually didn't actually get hit. Someone pulled it. Maybe did this touch 8,900? It touched 8,900, so maybe it got chunked out a bit. But yeah, that's an example of a close call. I'd have to look at a smaller time frame. But yeah, this is how you see the progression of orders in the book and how they, how likely is it to be a spoofer? How much is there plus or minus? And we also have this order book changes tab right here. If you really wanted to pay very close attention to that, we can look at the past 1 day and look at whichever aggregation you want. And Tone, I'm not sure you're even aware of this function, but this is a function that lets you see literally within what aggregation, how many orders have been added, subtracted, at what time. So this is a great function as well, the spot.
So that's literally to spot spoofers.
Yeah, this will catch the spoofer. If you want to see the spoofer or the history of it, go ahead and you can check it out here in the order book changes and flip it to another time. And if you're on a small time scale, of course, you can look at it a smaller time scale and say, all right, this is very dynamic right now. We've got a lot of just about the equivalent amount of sellers as we do buyers that are adding and subtracting orders over the past just number of minutes. So it's pretty fair fight right now. We have the uncertainty level, so to say, is about equal on both ends. Maybe with small bullish dominance right here, maybe a tiny bit of bearish dominance right here. But yeah, this is where you would see, how much moves there are actually taking place in the book. And if it's lopsided, you can probably assume that's a spoofer. Not to mention, you'll notice the spoofer right here in the order book, showing, you see a lot more of those spoofers on BitMEX, and they aren't very quiet about what they're trying to do. But you're used to seeing a book like this, and this is the problem why people don't spot spoofers, is because in a cumulative order book, if someone throws up a $10 million order right here, all that's going to do is affect the depth chart look to this, as opposed to really showing you an aggregation that got filled with a massive stack of orders. So this is a much better way to view the order book, and something that we've changed so that you're able to see the non-cumulative view on any exchange.
All right, I'm looking for more questions, guys. Go ahead and send those questions in. Can you explain consolidation, good entry exit points, and when something looks bullish for a super noob?
Well, consolidation, let's start there. This is one of the most important things to me about consolidation. Do you see how we keep popping our way, even with these lower highs, into these massive
Oh,
gaps?
wow. Like, this is beautiful because, like, all throughout, let me look at the time scale here. From noon all the way to the other noon. So what are we looking at? 5-minute chart? Yeah. So if you just go 12 to 12, no. Put the mouse back on the chart, Joe. Right. So like noon to noon, no, the prior noon. So 12 to 12. Nope, the other side, the other way.
Oh, you want this one?
Right. So from that noon all the way until the next noon, all you see is green in the order book. So that to me is like some serious buying accumulation.
Yeah, it's clearly
like
there.
For 24 hours straight. For 24 hours straight, all there is just like people wanting to buy. No one is really selling.
Yeah, and more importantly, you get your buy signal from the order book at the bottom. And so you let these buyers buy, you let these, people front run the run, whichever, they're bullish, let them get their break even above 8,800, 8,900. And you let the sellers sell until you get a point where there is so much static support, and you can see all of these horizontal lines kind of interlaced there. You can see how serious, how low risk and high reward this particular trade was. Not only are these signals reliable, but you can also rely on this wall, which is very strong at around 8,450, and another wall here at flat out 8,500. So you had a lot of stuff going on. And yeah, the book, like you said, noon to noon, it was stacked. There was clearly a ton of buying interest to a point where sellers had no power over the price anymore. And then that's what makes me concerned about how this daily chart's going to play out. We keep finding support, and we keep finding massive resistance, and we keep creating these pockets, and we're in the middle of another one now. This thing's probably going to push us into our next sell signal, and there's no reason not to take any one of these. So I'm just going to have to keep playing signal to signal while ignoring a general trend right now, because I think the market is generally uncertain. We were really only certain from 10 a.m. to around this evening before the show started, and then this thing faded out the second we started moving up. So this support isn't moving anywhere. These are orders that plan on getting filled on the downside, and depending on the volatility and the velocity of the move to the downside, all this stuff can be swept up quickly. Oh, and we keep getting the question about WLL, which we brought up the other day. Tone, do you want to comment on that now that you've got a couple days, maybe?
Well, I'm sorry, which one? Say it again.
Ticker WLL. We were looking at it.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not looking at that anymore because they're going through bankruptcy.
Oh, okay. So that means that it's trash to you, not no interest.
Yeah, but when we were talking about WLL, someone else mentioned, hey Tone, you should take a look at RIG, and I did enter into a trade on RIG. By the way, guys, if you come and start watching a show 45 minutes late, and then you start asking what are you looking at? What platform is this? Guys, please go to the beginning. Like, if you show up 45 minutes late to a show and you're asking what's going on, that's just lazy. I'm not going to repeat the same thing for those that have been with us from the beginning. So figure it out. Go watch the beginning of the show. This happens to be the platform because I'm on the screen and you can sign up for it right here. So the stock that I did enter, so I have been trading, and RIG was my choice. The RIG is not going through a bankruptcy, and it's another one of these stocks that fell beautiful 9 right there. And I did pick up a RIG right down here, and it's doing somewhat well, not great, but this is a long-term play. I have a trade called the call ratio back spread. For those that understand what it is, that's a trade that makes a lot of money if this thing goes way up, which I think it can now that oil prices are going back to normal. And what else was I going to say? People ask me about airlines. What do you think of Donald Trump? What do you think of Warren Buffett getting out of airlines? I got in. When I heard Warren Buffett got out, I got in. But the implied volatility, I'm giving away my options course here. I got in and I was able to set the call options on American Airlines were through the roof. So yesterday I got in and I sold calls against my stock, and that position is doing incredibly well. Like the next day, the options went the implied volatility went through the roof. So I happily sold calls to people that have no idea what they're doing. Okay, here's a good question. If Trump gets rid of capital gains tax, would that send all markets to new all-time highs? Yes. Yes. If Trump gets rid of capital gains, that's going to send the stock market through the roof.
That would be
the greatest thing that Trump can do is get rid of capital gains. I mean, get rid of all the damn taxes. Just print some money to run the government bare bones.
And let us let us buy our Bitcoin.
All right, let me see if there's any other questions.
1005 live.
Tone, Dan Held. Oh, you know who Dan Held is, right, Joe? He was a speaker on Confiscatable. Dan Held sometimes speculates that this could turn into a Bitcoin super cycle. I have no idea what a super cycle is.
I have a feeling that means adding another zero at the end of the we broke 20K, so now another decimal point over
200K.
I'm assuming they mean that's what a super run is. Bitcoin.
I mean, it's possible, but over what time period, right? Like, I can see 200K 4 years from now. I don't see it this year or next year.
In January, I saw that happening next year. Coronavirus, February 12th, shot everything.
But look, guys, there are macro factors that can cause it tomorrow. The breakup of the Eurozone, the elimination of physical money in Europe. Everything is going to happen in Europe because the U.S. is not getting rid of physical dollars. Let's face it. The physical U.S. $100 bills are not going away anytime soon. But the European $500 note could be gone tomorrow. The European $100 note could be gone tomorrow. The British pound could be, the paper money could be gone tomorrow. So everything is going to happen out of Europe. China doesn't really matter that much unless they're running Ponzi schemes. So another big Ponzi scheme out of China could make us go up nicely, but it's going to be Europe. It's the breakup of the Eurozone, the elimination of physical cash, both specific to Europe. That's where it's all going to start and end. Next. Let me see if there's any other questions.
Yeah, I saw that. Hopefully we can get your sequential on Trader. I think it's gonna be so sick, man. I think that's gonna be the best.
I gotta connect the developer from Trader with my developer.
Yeah.
We'll see what we can work out. U.S. default to China is also one of the factors. No, that's irrelevant. That can shoot. No one cares. No, national debts don't matter. How high is the possibility of the summer 2019 run up to the return to normal phase? I'm not sure I understand the question. How high is the possibility of summer 2019 run up return to normal? Well, return to normal happened in the summer of 2019 as well. Like return to normal happens right after a bubble tops. Hey Joe, thoughts on the Gemini order book?
Yeah, basically we scrapped Gemini. I can't remember the specific reason, but there was something about Gemini that we didn't like in terms of their data feed. They didn't give us enough data to make a complete picture. There's a couple of exchanges that only gave us up to like 10% distance from the price or 5% or less distance from price. So we would have to exclude data that isn't comprehensive, right? So we also got rid of, for the aggregated book, took out Kraken because you can trade spot basically on leverage now. You can trade spot on leverage on Coinbase now 3x. So I believe that gives an inaccurate picture, which leaves Bitstamp as the final logical conclusion for a true spot market. So that's pretty much why I've dumbed it down to Binance or to Bitstamp for now, because I think that's the last true spot exchange we have. So that's where I'm keeping things for now, and it's working out. And as we all know in TA, if things are dynamic, if things need to change, they need to change. I mean, I started using BitMEX signals on Trader before I got to Binance, and because the BitMEX signals were great and the order book was much more active, so it was a very different play. But now we see Binance with the far less active book. It's kind of like the price swings happen more momentarily, and you see a much clearer area of resistance on spot exchanges, especially because I believe what you have are called sleepers. And have I gone over that with you, Tone?
No.
Okay, so to me, a sleeper is basically someone that puts an order in the book, who's a very long-term trader, that puts their order in the book, they leave it, and when it gets filled, it gets filled. A good mid to long-term trader. So when you have a lot of sleepers in the book, that's going to create those natural pockets of resistance, and we're going to have natural areas of support to the downside. So sleepers come, really, really come into play at times like this, because we're going to need to be breaking through those static areas of resistance to push the price up, which means that demand needs to continue to be as strong as it has been, or stronger than the run to 10K. And what's drawing my uncertainty there is the fact that we keep doing these inflated little pumps to the upside, met with tons and tons of sellers, and then a quick breakdown. In many cases, a violent breakdown, high volume, and more importantly, that the volume toward the beginning of the run is greater than the volume toward the end of the run, and that's a strong signature to me that sellers are in control of the market, because dumb sellers sell at the bottom. And with the volume tool that I have, I can break down the exact amount of volume there was per candle, how many buyers and sellers, with the volume by side trades of any size indicator. So then we can, clearly see that a market was, the volume that initiated a sell-off was the majority of the volume. The volume where it bottomed out was a good 50-50 split, whatever. And that's a strong sign to me that if the bears are the ones starting the sell-offs, then they're probably the ones that are going to keep doing it and letting these low liquidity sweeps like we see right now happen right back to the upside before letting the book build up again and crushing it. That's the number one sign in the order book that bears are in control of the market, and that's how you maintain your trend bias if you're bearish.
All right, no, that sounds good. I have one more. No, that's it. We got a lot of questions. Probably better if you share screen, Joe. Once again, Joe is going to share his screen of Trader. Trader is going to open up to subscriptions this weekend. You will get like a 2-week free trial of a subscription that you may like. And Joe uses it all day, every day. Let me drop screen share and let you pull up the latest 5-minute chart. We'll take a look if anything's changed. And then we'll probably be wrapping up the show because we are almost an hour in. The hour flew by really, really quickly. And I'm getting like a lot of questions about the stock market. I'm going to pass on those this time around. We will take a look at that probably tomorrow. And then there was one more thing I kind of wanted to address. Someone says, do you have any options on inverse ETFs, particularly like why? And see, this makes no sense to me. I'm an options trader. I can just buy puts. Why am I going to buy calls on an inverse ETF? Why am I going to do a negative of a negative? I'd rather just, if I think that the ETF is going to fall, I'm just going to buy the put. I'm not going to buy the call on an inverse ETF. It's just too counterintuitive to me. No, I haven't shorted any REITs yet, but that's probably a good idea. I got to take a look at how the REITs are doing. I think the real estate market is going to freaking tank. Looks like the price is dropping and the order book's starting to fill up there a little bit on the short side.
Yeah, this is by hand because these signals are so powerful, but it's like this just goes to show you the strength of this range. All these very static orders are going to keep creating buy pressure as we get lower, and that's, we're failing to make this higher high. And I think we're going to fail to make a significantly lower low. I think we're ranging until a whale or an accumulator really kicks something off. And we're right up in a dry pocket here. This is, I mean, if I was using just the rudimentary analysis here, it's clearly showing that, you can see across the board, we're getting red in the 1 to 2.5% depth. And that's probably the most important depth to trade. And we're getting,
but you're not ready to short right now yet, right? Not enough.
I'm only trading signals right now. If I was trading the old Joe prior to this device, I would look at the book and I would say, yeah, this thing is stacked for the bears right now. The bulls really aren't coming in with too much heat. Just under 5 Bitcoin buy, mostly decimals and fractions in between there. So we're looking at a pretty dusty board here. Insignificant buying, insignificant selling. We're ranging. This is a little price discovery range. So I would look at this wall and say, well, if we're really only looking at dust, now we had a 15 Bitcoin buy order, 140,000 or so, take out a little chunk of 106 Bitcoin sell wall, but really not much on top of it. So this is a great range. And if I was to be trading by hand, this wouldn't be an ugly short up until the point where you start getting some 2.1 to 2.5% band support on the buy side. But again, we just keep pushing into these dry pockets. And if we keep creating lower low after lower low, that's going to be the confirmation that 9 did call the top. Just a little, the run was not ready to dry out just yet. But these are all the hollow points. We dried it up at the highest high. We dried up at an attempt to test it. We broke out. We dried up again at a lower high than the highest 96 or 9400 range it was. And then we did it again. We popped back up to the low 9,000s with a hollow run and fell off a cliff. And that just shows me this is the same behavior we had around the 10K range. We just kept, this is denial. And if this keeps happening, the bears are going to start competing to sell. This is going to be the breakdown where I get a delicious steak dinner.
Yeah, well, Joe, one of these days we got to do a show when you're flashing some yellow signals to actually take on a trade. But as you guys know, this is pretty tough to time. All right, I think it's time for us to
I wanted to add one thing
because
you did mention traders going live May 8th. There is the 2-week trial, but there's also going to be a 30% off to the early birds. So for a monthly pack subscription to the yearly subscription, whatever it is, you're getting 30% off early bird special. So test it out. You have days at this point, plus a 2-week, little period of time, grace period. And then you got to pick your plan, but you have a 30% discount. So I'd recommend getting the early bird discount, which expires, I believe, June 8th.
All right, guys. And if you can see behind me, the background, we're going to stream an epic show for the halving, once in a 4-year event. And I'm going to be here with you a step of the way. I'm going to try and invite as many friends as I have left in the space. And those that are still Bitcoiners, they're few and far between. We'll try to bring them on the show. We'll do some awesome interviews all throughout the day, catch you up on all the news. If you're interested in Trader Platform that Joe has been working with for quite a while now, please check out tonevays.com/affiliates. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the video. Hey, tell us what you think about Trader in the comments of this video. If you are using it, if you're trying it out, leave some comments. Let other people know, those that might be watching. They will get your opinion, whether it's good or bad. Just leave it below the video. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for watching. We're going to say goodbye to Joe. I am going to maybe pour myself one more tequila, it being Cinco de Mayo. The next tequila I'm going to show you guys is actually going to be, I'm going to start showing like legit tequilas on camera. And I have a few. I'm going to open up the bottle for the halving, of course. Yeah. All right. Final words, Joe?
Yeah, just feel free to reach out to me. I'm doing daily tutorials on Trader on my Bitcoin Lounge show on YouTube. You can find me at me on Twitter, Joe_Saz, at me on Telegram, at the Trader community. Anything you have questions about how to set it up, anything, I'm going to be doing it every single day, running through the indicators, why each inputs matter, how to make this thing work for you. I'm going to give you my exact signals so you can make the trades yourself. We're trying to give you the fishing pole here, and hopefully let it pay for itself.
Joe does have a YouTube channel, and you should put that tutorial video right on there for as like a feature video for people to just go to your channel and check it out.
Yeah, there is a tutorial, and I just keep doing it every day, just on the off chance that there's more questions. But yep, happy to continue to do so. I will post
this is a Joe Saz scammer channel.
This might be a weird one. Yeah, something else.
I clicked on the second option, not the first option.
Oh, how weird.
I know. There he is.
Yeah, there's the humidor, the Bitcoin humidor.
Yeah, here it is. Here's the Trader tutorial. So for those that are interested. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And I will see you all tomorrow morning before market opens.
Bye. Thanks for having me, Tone.